Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. I'm back with one of my favorite YouTubers and guests. It's Oxalate back on the channel. Ox, how you doing, man?
What's up, Ash? How's it going?
It's going really, really well, dude. It's been like a week or 2 weeks now since you've uploaded a video. When are you gonna get back on the YouTube grind, man?
Yeah, I've been kind of busy with some other stuff lately, but I do plan on uploading probably in the next few weeks. Hopefully, starting consistently by the summer, but we'll just have to find out.
Okay, fantastic. We'll definitely include the link to your channel. You guys should watch Oxalate's content. Great YouTuber, great pro player as well. How's life going, man? It's been a while since I've had you on the channel.
Everything's been good. Clash Royale, I feel like, has been a little bit stale lately. I thought the Texas event, the SXSW, was really fun, but I'm definitely looking forward to CRL and a lot of the new events starting soon.
Yeah, for sure. And Clan Wars, man. I think that hopefully April update can spice things up a little bit. Are you excited about that, or?
I feel like the last few updates haven't been the greatest. I think a lot of people have thought that, so I'm hoping they really come through this time. So yeah, I'm excited for Clan Wars.
Me too. Me too. I hope that, yeah, I hope that it's well done and a really compelling, exciting update. But anyway, back to the deck that we're going to be. I hit you up because, you know, I told you this off air too, but I recently polled my viewers and asked them if, in my community tab, by the way, guys, I put polls all the time, getting your feedback on the channel, and I asked them if they prefer interviews with guests who are on voice or who just share the tips. And surprisingly, like at least 3/4 of the people like to get when I bring pros on voice. So we're gonna do more of that starting today. And this is Oxalate's player profile. Holy crap, God mode. Wow, almost 500k cards won too, man.
Yeah, almost
Beast.
there.
Beast. All right, so this is your I hit you up anyway because I knew you were a great guest, and this is the deck that you decided that you wanted to share. And I think I've shared a deck similar to this in the past, but not exactly the same. I think it had Fire Spirits in the place of Bats and maybe a couple other changes. But this deck is really fun. I played a few matches at lunch, really loved it. So tell us a little bit about the deck and why you like it so much.
Yeah, so this deck is really versatile. If you play it well, you can beat pretty much anything, and it also cycles just insanely fast.
It's crazy.
It's definitely a really high skill cap deck, but I feel like it teaches you a lot about the game since you have a lot of cheap, fast cycle cards, and you kind of just have to know when to push and how to manage your elixir.
So playing this deck will make you a better player.
Yeah,
as simple as
like
that. I mean, it will teach you how to the placement and timing and stuff like that. Maybe a little bit more than the... Did you see like the 2.3 cycle deck that's going around?
Yeah, I have seen that deck. It's pretty insane.
What would you say is better? Like, if you just want to get better at placement and precision and timing and stuff like that, would you roll with a deck like this, or would you go like crazy and go with a 2.3?
I would go with this deck just because I feel like it's a little bit more viable than the 2.3 deck. I feel like 2.3 deck's really good for, I guess, learning how to use Tornado as effectively as possible and like little skeletons and things like that. But I feel like this deck will still really teach you a lot about the game, and it's a little bit stronger, I feel like, overall.
Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and hop into the 12 win, man. We kind of vetted these replays to make sure they're all good opponents, all 19 or 20 game winners, the ones that we're going to share. So you guys will be in store for some good gameplay here. So let's watch the one against GTO first, and I'll pause at the beginning. Let me know when you're with me.
All right.
3,
I'm right at the beginning.
2, 1, play. Before we get started, what are you doing in Nova Korea, man? you practicing your Korean a little bit, or?
I'm just hanging out,
just
playing
hanging out,
players, having fun. Yep.
All right, cool. All right, so here we go. Just kind of walk us through your thought process, if you could, in these matches.
Okay, so as soon as I saw the Goblin Gang, I thought it was probably this giant spam deck, which has kind of been going around a lot lately. I actually faced this deck 3 times in a row in my Grand Challenge. So as soon as I saw the Goblin Gang, I'm thinking, all right, it's probably the same exact deck.
So at first, it looks like you kind of start out just by like usually cycling until you know what your opponent's playing for sure.
Yeah, and if you notice, most of the cards that you play at the bridge. You're very, very aggressive with this deck, but you just want to be careful not to go too all in. So usually if you have Ice Spirit, just throw that at the front, just kind of react to what they do. And most of the time you'll just have like a ton of small little counter pushes.
Okay,
As
and
you can
here
kind
you're
of
going
see
in
here.
for the push, I see.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically, do you want to make sure that they're not playing pump before you send in your first miner usually?
Yeah, pretty much. You want to try to get your cycle good so that you have either your miner or your poison. This deck isn't a Three Musketeer or a pump deck, but if they do have a pump deck, usually you just want to go with the miner on the side and a poison directly on the pump, and then later in the game you can go with miner directly on the pump and perform like other small pushes and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, it strikes me as just like my 5 or 6 matches I played with this deck. Like this deck really teaches you to switch up your locations, both on minor and poison, and even defensively at times. You know, just don't want to be too predictable, I imagine.
Yeah.
When you so what do you find the trickiest matchup to be with this deck?
The most difficult is probably Golem Tornado Double Prince, just because they can activate the King Tower, so you have to be really careful with your minor placements. Because if they activate at the very beginning, it makes the matchup almost impossible. And you have to constantly be applying pressure, because if they form a huge push, it's pretty much over.
Okay, and you just actually in this match here, the opponent GTO dropped his giant in back of the king of his king tower, and you immediately hit opposite lane. Now, no matter what type of beatdown matchup you're going against, is that basically how you're going to handle it, even with like a lava hound, or is there different kind of rules for different decks?
Yeah, so you want to constantly be applying pressure. You have to be really careful about your poison, though, because let's say you're facing Lava Hound and you go with a minor poison, even if they drop their guards and you get some poison value, they then have their minions, their Mega Minion, their Balloon, and you only have your Tesla bats, which they can zap bounce. So I would say most of the time you don't use your poison. You just kind of rely on your bats or your Goblin Gang and kind of play it by that.
Okay. And is there ever how much does this deck to you kind of equate to, or is it, how much is it similar to like a bait deck in terms of just, let's say they use their zap on your bats, do you like hit them right away with another, you know, bridge spam kind of small troops, or do you play a little bit more conservatively, or does it just depend?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what you do. As long as you're not down too much on Elixir, pretty much you're constantly playing at the bridge and applying pressure.
Okay, cool. And so this matchup seems like it's and I found in my matches too, I went 4-1 with the deck, but it was in the beginning of a GC. And I found that just like you right now in this match, it just like it's really that chip damage adds up fast, man. You know, like next thing you start out, and then next thing you know, it's just like, holy crap. You know, it's like, I don't know, it's interesting. But
Yeah.
let's show one more replay here. And then we can move into, let's see, what one do we want to show here? This guy. 19.
The Expo one's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, against
Also
KFC. So, yeah, let's go ahead and show this one here. 3, 2, 1, play. All right, so talk about different matchups like Siege, obviously, in this case.
Okay, so against Siege, most of the time you're going to be using your poison, obviously, on the Expo, and then you're going to distract it with an Ice Golem. A lot of times you are going to have to also use your miner on the Expo. And then typically at some point in the game, they are going to switch lanes. So you can either decide to switch with them and continue to poison the tower. But if you already have half the tower down, usually I'll start using my miners and then start trying to kind of predict with Teslas and just basically continue to distract it. But it really depends on the situation.
Okay. Yeah, because, you know, I'll just be honest with you, man. Like, I suck at facing Siege decks. I really do. Like, even if I'm playing my favorite decks, I'm always, if I see that motor, if I see that Expo, I'm always like, oh, crap, man. You know, I need to, like, at one point, I don't know how comfortable you are playing against Siege decks, but I just need to bring a pro on and just go over, like, how to beat Siege. Because it's not like I always lose to it. It's just like I never know exactly what the correct play is. You know, I know how to distract I know how to distract the Expo. Like, that's obvious. But I don't know if I should then distract and spam, distract in the other lane and then hit the other lane, or I don't know. Is there any faith? Is there any hope for me to become a good Siege player? Like, what are the basics?
Of playing against Siege, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Most of the time, you are just distracting and poisoning. I think,
Okay.
like you said, that's probably the most basic play. You do want to keep track of their cycle. If you know they're going to use skeletons, then go ahead and log that with your miner. So basically just continuing to distract, almost always poisoning the Expo. You can oftentimes force a tie if you really want to, if you're not really sure exactly what to do. But most of it's just kind of keeping track of cycle and continuing to poison the Expo.
Okay.
And you can
cool.
also kind of tell when they're going to Expo sometimes, so you can throw your Tesla at the bridge if you know they're going a certain lane. And oftentimes that's not really a bad play because they can't really push into that, you know? They just kind of have to wait for the Tesla to die. But as you'll see in this game, I kind of do that a little bit.
Yeah, and I see that, again, you're just like, you're also sending miner in as well. Or is that, I mean, I noticed it on the last 2 pushes that you send in miner and poison. Is that just because it's in double elixir time, or do you usually send in miner as well if you have them in hand and the elixir at hand?
Yeah, I usually send it in as well. And then
Okay.
sometimes later in the game, if I know I can distract it long enough, I'll actually send the miner on the tower. Or if I know they're going to Tesla, you don't really want to put your miner on the Expo because then the Tesla will kill it right away. So sometimes it kind of acts as an ice golem and that's distracting the Expo for a little bit, and you're still getting some tower damage.
Okay. Another kind of maybe dumb question, but I noticed that you send the Ice Golem in on the same lane as the Expo. Is there any reason why you don't put him in the opposite? I mean, in this case, there was a Tesla there, I guess, but is there another reason why you prefer going same lane as Siege?
Most of the time, I actually place my ice golem on the other side.
Okay.
In that situation, he didn't have a Tesla or anything like that, so I knew he would probably be distracted with my miner, and then it helps if the ice golem gets a hit on the expo or two. But yeah, most of the time you want to play your ice golem on the opposite lane.
Okay, so we talked a lot about defense so far in this matchup. Let's talk about offense. Obviously, most of it has come from like incidental chip damage or just the poisons that you're laying on all these expos. Is there anything else besides that, like what's going through your head right now in this match offensively? I mean, here we go. I guess this would be the answer, right?
Yeah, this is when I start to spam a little bit more because I know I can mostly use my Teslas to take out the expo. Unless I know that he has ice golem in cycle, then I just want to poison it. But at this point, I pretty much place my Tesla down as soon as I think he's going to expo. So right after I finish my push, because that's kind of what they do most of the time. Right after they defend the miner, they're going to go ahead and expo. I think I have one more predictive Tesla in just a second here, but I know that if he goes the same lane as me, he's 100% going to lose because I can just poison it out, and he can't really outcycle me. So right here, I just put my Tesla at the bridge because I know there's really nothing else that he can do.
Wow. Yeah, you know, just the way you're handling this matchup is so awesome to watch. Just, you know, how like you said, you're going in for your little attacks here, and at the and look at that, you didn't use poison against those archers. Is that just because you knew you wouldn't have enough elixir to defend against the expo?
Yeah, I wanted to be careful not to overcommit because I know at this point probably like 2, 3 more miners will finish off the tower.
Yeah, I'm such a sucker, man. I totally would have poisoned that. I'd been like, oh, poison value, value, and I would have done it, you know? But I guess it's a
Yeah,
good lesson to not, just because there's some value there doesn't always mean you have to do it, you know?
yeah.
Plus, you got a
And
full
there I
3
knew he was
minutes.
going to expo, so I just put my Tesla right there.
Beautiful, beautiful predictive Tesla. You don't hear that too often, Ox. Predictive Teslas. But
Here I actually missed my log on the archers, which is a little bit unfortunate, and my ice spirit doesn't finish off the one archer, so it gets a little bit of damage, but we're still fine.
all right, man. Well, now it's time to do the Cringe Fest, aka you teach Ash how to play a live match. So I'm gonna hop in whenever you're ready, man.
Yeah, I'm all set.
Okay, cool. So, as promised, we're 4-1 so far with the deck. Let me just make sure I have it selected. We are good to go. And the one thing about this deck that I will say is I inevitably, some people in the comments are going to say, why don't you have NATO in this deck? Like, why can't I sub in NATO and Princess or something like that? Because, like, everybody loves NATO so much. Why don't you have NATO in a minor cycle deck?
Well, you don't really have anything that synergizes the 2.3. I think it's 2.3 elixir, right? That one minor tornado deck. Yeah. So that one is kind of a good deck and kind of not, just because you don't really have too much synergy besides Ice Spear and Tornado. So in this deck, if I had, say, Tornado for Tesla, you don't really have anything that synergizes well with the Tornado, like an Ice Wizard or an Executioner or something like that. So Tesla's just a little bit more defensive, I feel like.
All right, I have one final question before I hop into a match because my one loss. You know what? Want me to just show you my loss? I'm going to share my loss with you if
Sure.
that's good. Because it was really ugly, but you guys know I don't care. And the guy's name is F. All Novus, and I lost to him. I really didn't rep my clan fam too well there, dude. All right, oops, I clicked watch instead of share. All right, so I will show you guys my embarrassing loss, and let's just go ahead and press watch and play in 3, 2, 1. Go. It's against 3 Musketeers. And I would say it's a pretty even matchup. I'm not sure if anybody has like the edge. Maybe you think we do. I don't know. But I made a lot of bad plays. But even before my bad plays, I wasn't sure exactly how to defend against split 3 Musketeers, like what the best way to defend would be. So maybe you can help me out here. So right now, nothing's really going on, but I think I make the first move because there's nothing really to, I feel like with this deck. Yeah.
Oh, the predictive log. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
you like that? You like that, huh? Maybe I shouldn't have
been
shown
nice.
this.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
the beginning there, you never want to place your miner like ever. You always want to figure out what kind of deck. Also, I like to put my miner in the spot that's harder to tornado.
Yes.
Actually, what I do oftentimes on the corner, I'll put it one tile above the corner, so it has to walk down, and then that makes it literally impossible to tornado.
Okay, so yeah, that was awful. And whatever, I'm not gonna make excuses because I suck anyway. But I was at lunch and eating while I was doing this. But okay, so this is I'm gonna pause. Right.
Okay.
So right when the
Yeah.
Musketeers reach my bridge, this is really what I wanted like help with. So Musketeers are coming down at me. I have 2 in one lane, 1 in the other. The first thing I did was place like a preemptive Tesla. Is that an okay move? If so, is that an okay position for it?
Yeah, that's a good Tesla right there. That's
Okay.
probably the best you could have done. Oftentimes you want to kind of wait and see, but you didn't really have anything that you could put down without just kind of cycling into the Three Musketeers, which just kind of gives them value. So I think your Tesla was fine. I would have put the Ice Golem down on the 2 Musketeers and then quickly put my Goblin Gang down on that. You kind of put it in the middle, and the Musketeers basically killed it before it got any value.
Okay. All right. So that's a good call there. Okay, I'm gonna press play again. And here things get crazy here. I could have poisoned really quick, but again, like I just made so many mistakes this match, and I kind of panicked and I placed down a Tesla. So it was really ugly here, very ugly. But basically, the reason I really wanted to show the replay is just to know, you know, what is the actual correct decision that you should make when you're dealing with when you have the split 3 Musketeers. Like, what's the ideal play?
So in Double Elixir, because of how fast this deck cycles, if they play their 3 Musketeers in the back, oftentimes you can get away with poisoning the pump and then also poisoning the 3 Musketeers. So you're just always continually cycling poisons. Also in Double Elixir, I like to apply a lot of pressure with Miner to basically, if I know they don't have enough Elixir for 3 Musketeers, I'll continue to cycle, say, Miner Bats. And if they do decide to go 3 Musketeers, then you can just quickly poison it out. But in single elixir, you just kind of want to play it slowly, try to defend as best as possible, basically just not give them the elixir lead.
Okay, so here's my next try at it. I don't think it goes too well either, but we'll see what I did. So here I'm
How far are you in the replay right now?
oh, I'm 45 seconds or so in.
Okay.
I'll pause. So yeah, here, let me know when you're with me.
Okay, I'm at the part where the musketeer's on your tower.
Okay, 44 seconds is where I am, so I'll go
Yep,
play in 3,
144.
2, 1, play. All right, so here I kind of just spam defend on the right. I don't know. At this point, it was already pretty much lost because of my big debacle at the beginning of the match. But I think I did all right, I guess, here.
Okay, now I think I'm caught up.
Okay.
Yeah, that was fine. That was fine.
Yeah. So here so it wasn't, I mean, like, it was really bad in the beginning, but I think that you answered all the questions that I really needed here in this matchup. Just because I showed such an embarrassing loss, but I don't really care. I really like to, hopefully some of the viewers could learn from my my loss here. But I want to show the Golem matchup that I did as well. I ended up winning, and the guy who knows how good he wasn't a 20-game winner, I'm sure. But I do want to show this one, and you can just tell me if I did anything incorrectly, because when we're talking off air, you said again that you like to play it differently than I did. I kind of tried to cycle 2 Teslas on defense, and I think the proper way probably would have been applying more pressure. So maybe we can watch it in double time, and then we can hop into a live after that.
Oh man, this already looks pretty rough. He's got 3 spells.
Oh, okay, you already pressed play. All right.
Oh no, I just looked at the deck.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, so let's just press play in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
And then we'll switch it to double time.
All right.
So yeah, just kind of walk me through where I went. Yeah, it's a 3-spell golem deck, which I actually really like this deck. Do you like it?
I think it's okay, but I think it's a little bit too situational. I feel
Okay.
like the other double prince deck's a little bit better overall.
Okay. So
that
there's
Tesla was you never win a Tesla unless they place something
that
down.
was
where you know it's
yeah, that was a mistake. All right, so but it actually ended up working out fine because I was able to cycle back to another Tesla, and then I had the Tesla wall here.
Yep, that's fine.
Unorthodox ox.
It works.
Yeah. All right, so at this point, I'm just gonna keep chipping. Is that an okay thing to do?
Yeah, that was good. Most of the time, I like to put my miner in the back when I'm going with a push like Bats or Goblin Gang, but that still works.
Okay, why do you put it in the back usually?
So if they have a mini P.E.K.K.A. or something like that, the Bats will lock on the tower, and a lot of times they won't have enough
Okay.
elixir to defend.
Okay, so I imagine that you put the, well, yeah, this match, this was, Actually, pretty easy. I don't know if he was, like I said, he probably should have followed through on this push a little bit more, but either way. So when you're going against a bait matchup, I imagine you can put, and they're going to counter your miner with like a Goblin Gang or something like that. Where do you put the miner in that circumstance? In front of the tower, or does it really, do you just switch it up?
Okay, so it depends on if they have tornado or not. If they do have tornado, then obviously you want to do the quarter throughout most of the game, and then usually when it's about halfway throughout the game, you want to go in the back just to kind of switch it up a little bit, because at that point they're like, oh, he's probably going to continue to place his miner there, and they'll probably place down their Goblin Gang, and you can't really Goblin Gang and tornado. You can, but you have to be like super reactive.
Gotcha.
But oftentimes I like to put, if they don't have tornado, I like to put my miner in the corner, the inside corner, because oftentimes if you have, say, bats coming down the lane, they'll put their princess down and the miner will distract the princess, and then you can also poison out the princess.
Okay, great advice there. And you saw how I played it. It was all right, but so you said you would have put pressure as soon as they dropped the golem in the opposite lane, though, right?
Yep. I always pressure opposite side.
Okay.
Even if I have, like, a little bit of damage, oftentimes it's worth it just to kind of divert their push a little bit.
All right, Ox, why don't you play it live? I'm putting you on the spot. Is that cool?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. Just let me know when you're in. Make sure I...
All right, I'm all set. And... see, it's loading, finding an opponent.
Okay, we're with you. We're with you.
I found someone.
All right. Pronounces... Oh, Amperbit. My bad. All right,
Amperbit.
Cool. All right. Pronounce his clan. Federakaja.
Federakaja?
Oh, man, you're almost as bad as me as pronouncing. All right, so starts out with a giant.
So our starting hand's pretty bad. We started with Poison, Tesla, Ice Golem, and Miner, so I can't really apply any pressure. So I kind of just had to go with my Miner right there. So kind of an awkward start, but it's fine. Go with my Ice Spear right here. Oh, he's going all out here.
Wow. All right.
Gonna defend all that.
Nice job separating the Dark Prince from your swarm. and the
Hopefully that doesn't... Okay.
And the Royal Ghost, too. So you had the Dark Prince and Royal Ghost, and you're still able to have a couple surviving goblins there. Kudos.
A lot of splash. A lot of splash.
So I imagine this is some sort of a Goizen deck.
Yeah. At this point, I'm pretty confident that he doesn't have Tornado, so I can go with a Miner right there. He's going to go with a Goblin Gang. Okay. Now here I can go with my Tesla right here, and my Tesla will actually clean up some of those goblins, and then it can also work on the giant.
Nice. Yeah, I think I would have been tempted to log there.
All right, this is kind of awkward. There we go.
Nice. How often do you find yourself having to use the miner defensively if you need like that extra distraction or kiting or whatever?
A lot more than you would think, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a good tip then.
Yeah, so don't be afraid to do that.
Yeah.
It's oftentimes the right play. All right. Fortunately, we don't really have anything for the Royal Ghost right away, so I'm going to have to go with that. Going to go with a Ice Golem right there and try to kill both those real fast. He's not so happy right now.
He is not happy. No, that was brutal. Where was his zap that whole time?
All right. I think he's going to go with Goblin Gang, so I'm just going to try to predict. Going to get that nice prediction. There we go.
Yes! That's what I wanted to have happen, Ox.
Oh, man, he's going super aggressive again.
This guy's relentless. Oh, man, not a poison. It was Inferno D.
Inferno J. Yeah, this guy's probably not the best player, but yeah.
Yeah, always I love live matches because you can kind of get right into your thought process, but of course you never know who you're going to go against. But you're seeing just like, obviously this guy's really spamming the heck out of you, but you're seeing how you're really able to handle everything without any sweat at all. I don't think you've really taken any damage.
Yeah, really. We're fine. Oh, he's going crazy.
Yeah, he is.
But with this deck, it does take time, so you do have to be patient. Even if they're spamming things like crazy, it's going to take some time to take them out.
Yeah, that's something I noticed too. Is I think almost all my matches, except for the one that I lost, and I guess the one that those two that I showed, but the other ones all went into overtime, I do believe. So just being patient with this deck seems like an important key.
Yeah, you have to be patient, but you also have to be aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Now, you said you don't minor poison very often, or you're very reluctant to do so, especially if you don't know exactly what your opponent's playing early game and stuff like that. In
Yeah.
double elixir, do you know, given some exceptions like that Expo matchup where you needed the elixir, but do you usually minor poison? Does it just depend? Like, how do you kind of factor in when to use poison and when to save it?
You only want to use poison if you're literally like 100% sure that they're going to give you value, unless it's
Okay.
like a minor versus minor matchup where you're basically just trying to catch each other's minors and cycle as many as possible. But if you're against something like double prints, if you like just minor poison and they put their prints down, it's kind of a really bad situation for you because then you don't have it to defend against their big push and everything just kind of goes downhill. So you only want to use poison if you're really, really sure that they're going to give you value, pretty much.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, I feel like we have a great understanding of this deck, and I want to thank you again for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been a
Nope.
while.
No problem. I know. We'll have to get you on sooner next time, not let another few months go by. But we'll definitely be looking forward to checking out your YouTube videos once you resume uploading. So, guys, make sure, again, you go subscribe to Oxalate. Great pro and just gives great lessons on his channel. So, definitely go ahead and check that out. Ox, anything else? Any shout outs? Anything we should know about?
Keep on clashing. Stay tuned for CRL. The event's going to be huge. And yeah, thanks for having me again.
I must ask, do you have any info on CRL as far as you goes and tribe and, team wise, or?
As far as who I'm joining, or
Yeah, like what's your situation right now?
well, currently I'm contracted with Tribe. Things are looking good. I just might be going with Tribe for CRL, but we'll just have to find out.
All right, man. Well, we're looking forward to that announcement as well. Guys, I'll have Ox's social media and his YouTube in the description below. Also, his player profile on statsroyale.com. Huge shout out to Bren Chong, my YouTube partner. Check out his information as well. Guys, thanks for watching. And as always, take care, guys.